Welcome back, students. Last time we started with ledger accounting. Ledger, as you know, it's a scrutiny of a particular account head that is made for a particular time period. So last time, in order to make you understand the format and balancing of a ledger account, just one or two problems are taken with 2-3 different transactions in order to make you understand the ledger accounting part, right? Today we'll do few more transactions so that this particular part will be clear, that what is ledger accounting and how the balancing is done, right? Today we'll discuss about trial balance also, which is the next step after ledger accounting, right? So let's solve one problem related to ledger accounting, and then I'll explain you the next part, that is trial balance. What is the use of a ledger account? You will come to know about a particular account head. You will get detailed information about a particular account. For example, if I am saying Mr. X is your client, then how much amount is due from Mr. X? Because you must have sold goods to Mr. X, but Mr. X has not made the payment. So Mr. X is a party, can be treated as your debtor, right? Similarly, if I am talking about supplier Y, then manager wants to know what is the amount that is due to Mr. Y, and that can be known by looking at the ledger account of Mr. Y. So I'll come to know during the year how much amount is spent on account of salary, how much amount is spent on account of different type of expenses, what is your revenue, what are the different assets, what are the different liabilities. Everything you will come to know if you make a ledger, right? I'm assuming that you must have made some practice at your end. You must have done some practice at your end regarding ledger account is concerned, okay? So let's understand the next part, that is a trial balance. Now before that, let's solve one simple problem first on ledger account, and then I'll explain you the trial balance, okay? So write down few business transactions. First transaction is, all these transactions are for the month of say May 2020. Now I am putting number 1. This 1 can be treated as May 1, right? It can be treated as 1st May. All transactions I am writing for the month of May. So first transaction is, business is started with cash rupees 50,000. May 2, 2nd May, a bank loan is taken rupees 50,000 from SBI, right? Transaction number 3, office rent paid rupees 2,000. Transaction number 4, a computer is bought for cash rupees 20,000. Transaction number 5, purchase of goods from Mr. Y on credit rupees 10,000. Transaction number 6, payment to Mr. Y in full settlement rupees 9,800. So there are 6 different transactions which are written on the board. Now for 6 different transactions, maybe there will be 12 different ledger accounts. I have to check how many ledger accounts I am supposed to open, because if cash account is already there, then I will not once again open cash ledger account, okay? So now transactions are in front of you. I hope all of you must have written the transaction. So let me first identify the debit and credit part. Now I don't want you to write down journal entries for these transactions, because here the focus is on making ledger account. So I don't want you to write down journal entry for this transaction. I just want you to identify debit and credit part correctly. So let's try this one by one. Debit and credit part for every transaction I am identifying, right? For transaction number 1, what is your debit? Cash debit and capital credit. I think no problem for this transaction, because we are doing this for the 5th time or 6th time this particular transaction. Business is started with cash rupees so and so. So cash debit and capital credit. Then bank loan is taken. Loan is your liability. So loan credit, and I can treat this as cash debit. I can treat the incoming of loan as increase in the form of cash balance. So I am writing down here cash. Then office rent paid rupees 2000. So what is going out? Cash is going out, and rent I am debiting, right? What is the next transaction? A computer is purchased for cash. So computer is coming in. So computer debit and cash credit, right? What is the next transaction? Purchase of goods. So purchase of goods means purchase debit and cash credit. And then, is it cash credit? No, you are buying from Mr. Y on credit. So here I will write down Mr. Y credit, right? Payment to Mr. Y in full settlement of rupees 9,800. So Mr. Y debit, right? Cash credit. Mr. Y debit how much? 10,000. And cash credit how much? 9,800. And one more account will appear here. What is that account? Discount of 200, because I am supposed to make payment of 10,000, but I am not making the payment of 10,000. I am just making the payment of 9,800. So there is an amount of discount, that is 200. This discount is my gain. So I am crediting the same, right? So 9,800 actually I am paying, and 200 I am getting it as discount. Okay. So debit and credit part is identified correctly. Now if you count, if I ask you how many ledger accounts you are supposed to make, then this is one ledger account, this is second ledger account, right? This is already made, right? So I'll put a tick mark over here. This is the third ledger account I'll make, right? This is the fourth ledger account I'll make. This is already made. This is the fifth ledger account. This is already made. This is the sixth ledger account. This is the seventh ledger account. This is already made. This is already made. And this is the eighth ledger account. So there are 6 different transactions, and I will be opening 8 different ledger accounts for the same, right? You take your own time and let me know what is your count. It is the same thing, 8 different ledger accounts for 6 different transactions you are opening. Now why there are only 8 different ledger accounts? Because the reason is, although there are 6 different transactions, what is happening? That cash is appearing again and again. Cash is appearing again and again. So I am not opening separate account for cash. I am not opening separate account for cash, and that is why I have just put tick over here, right? I have put tick over here. So how many ledger accounts I'll make? I'll make 1, 2, 3, 4, total 8 different ledger accounts I'll make, okay? Now if you have understood this basic part, we can move to the next part, right? So whenever the problem is of ledger accounting, what you have to remember, there is no need of passing any journal entry. You just identify debit and credit part correctly and then proceed, right? So you can make 2 columns in the rough like this. What is that? Debit and credit, and then you can proceed, okay? Now I'll rub this part of the board. I'm talking about the problem. Now I'm already having right? This particular part, right? Okay, so now I can proceed and I can make different accounts, right? I want you to open different ledger accounts and I want you to post these transactions. I want you to post these transactions, right? After posting the transactions, you have to check this part whether your debit side total is more than your credit side total, and then you calculate the different. You can calculate the difference between the account, that is nothing but the balancing amount, right? So 8 different ledger accounts you have to make and you can proceed, right? You can proceed, right? Okay. Now when I am talking about trial balance, what is this? It is the statement. It is the statement showing debit and credit balances. It is the statement showing debit and credit balances for different ledger accounts. It is the statement showing debit and credit balances for different ledger accounts, right? When I am talking about trial balance, it is a statement showing different debit and credit balances for different ledger accounts, right? So trial balance will always match because your debit credit side is matching, right? While making the trial balance, what rule you have to remember? Assets and expenses will have debit balances. Assets and expenses will have debit balances, and liabilities and incomes will have credit balances. Liabilities and incomes will have credit balances, right? This is the description part as far as trial balance is concerned. Assets and expenses will have debit balance and liabilities and incomes will have credit balance. Now let's solve one problem. Now the previous problem which was given, that you have to do it as a homework because you have to open different ledger accounts and then you can do balancing. Now I'll take one small problem so that I can show the answer on the board and so that you will understand right from journal entry to trial balance, right? Right from journal entry to trial balance. So you write down these 3 points related to trial balance and then we can proceed. Right? All expenses and assets will have debit balance. I think you agree with this because whenever you are incurring expenditure, you are debiting that expenditure. Whenever you are buying any asset, the asset is debited, right? Whenever you are entering into the contract for liability is coming up. Whenever income you are getting, you are crediting income and so on, right? So let's try one problem till trial balance so that I think all of you must have written this part. So let's start with one small problem and I would like to do this problem till trial balance. Okay, write down the problem. Go through following business transactions. Go through following business transactions for Balaji Traders, make ledger accounts and also make a trial balance. As on 31st March 2020. make a trial balance as on 31st March 2020. Usually trial balance is made at the end of the year, so that is why I have put the date over here as 31st March 2020. Okay. Transaction number 1, business is started with cash rupees 60,000 and a loan from bank rupees 50,000, right? So if I want to identify debit and credit here, what are my debits and credit for this particular transaction? 60,000 cash is coming, right? So cash I'll record into bracket as 60,000. Who is the giver of this cash? Proprietor. And what is the amount? 60,000. On the same date, suppose this transaction is happening on March 1. Then on the same date, one more transaction is appearing. What is that? Loan is taken. So I'll write down here loan, into bracket I'll write down rupees 50,000, and again what I am getting is cash. What is that? Rupees 50,000. What is that? Rupees 50,000, right? March 2, what is that? Purchase of goods. Purchase of goods for cash rupees 10,000. So what is debit? Purchase is debit. How much is the amount? 10,000. And cash credit, how much is the amount? 10,000, right? March 3, sale of goods to Mr. B. Sale of goods to Mr. B on credit rupees 5,000, right? So B account you will debit and sales account you will credit by how much amount? 5,000. Right? So only 3 transactions I am giving, so that we can do the ledger posting and we can make the trial balance. Okay. So I hope there is no confusion regarding debit credit part. So tell me how many ledger accounts you will make. For cash you will make 1 ledger account, for capital you will make 2nd ledger account, for loan you will make 1 more ledger account, right? For purchase you will make 1 more ledger account, for B you will make 1 ledger account, and for sales you will make 1 ledger account. So how many ledger accounts you will make in total? 6 different ledger accounts you will make in total, right? Now if this is true, if I want to make 6 different ledger accounts, then how to make them and how to solve this problem, right? So let me solve this problem here. Now I have rubbed all the transaction because I have the data now, right? So let me start with the cash account, right? If I open the ledger account for cash, cash is debit or cash is credit? Debit. So this is my debit side. So on the debit side, suppose this date is, I think this date is given as March 1. So here what I'll write down? To capital. What is the amount for this capital? Capital is equal to 60,000. On the same date, one more transaction is appearing. What is that? Cash debit and loan credit. So on March 1, again what I'll write down? To loan. What is the amount? What is the amount? 50,000, right? Now credit side, nothing is appearing in the cash ledger account. Why? Because cash is your asset and all assets are having debit balance. That you have to remember. Okay. Now second account, I can make it as capital account. Now if I am making capital account, tell me cash debit and capital credit. This is my credit side. So where should I show this 60,000? On the credit side. And what I'll write down? By cash account. What will be the amount? 60,000, right? Second ledger account I have opened. Third ledger account, I can make a loan account. I can make a loan account. Now in this loan account, loan is credited by how much? 50,000. Why? Because cash is coming in. So I'll write down here by cash account. What is the amount? 50,000. Both transactions are happening on the same date, that is 1st of March, right? So here you can write down the date 1st of March, year you can record 2020, right? So posting of first transaction is over. Posting of first transaction is over. What was the first transaction? Business is started with cash rupees 50,000 and one loan is taken from the bank, right? So this is how you have opened 3 different ledger accounts for this particular transaction. Cash is debited twice, capital is credited once, loan is credited once. This is how I have made 3 different accounts. Now the next transaction is on 2nd March where purchase is debited and cash is credited. So cash is credited or debited? Credited. So where should I write down? I should write down here. So I'll write down March 2 and I'll write down here, what I'll write down? By purchase. By purchase. What is the amount here? 10,000. By purchase, I'll write down the amount as 10,000 here. Okay. Now where should I write down this purchase? I'll make another account for purchases, right? I'll make another account for purchases. What is that? Purchase is debit or purchase is credit? Purchase is debit. So I'll write down here purchase account. On the debit side, I'll write down to cash account. What is that amount? 10,000, right? So this transaction is happening on March 2, right? The effect is given purchase on the debit side. Left hand side is your debit side, right hand side is your credit side. This part you have to remember in ledger accounting. So purchase debit to cash and in cash by purchase 10,000. Last transaction is Mr. B and sales. So B's account is debited. So I have to open one more account here, Mr. B account, right? Mr. B account is debited or credited? Debited. For how much amount? For how much amount? 5,000. So to sales account, how much I can write down here? 5,000. And there is one more account, that is sales account, right? So B's account debit to sales account. So I'll make sales account here, right? I'll make sales account here. So I'll make sales account here and I'll write down by Mr. B's account. By Mr. B's account. By Mr. B account and I'll put here 5,000, right? Suppose this transaction is happening on 3rd of March. So I'll put the date as 3rd of March. So 2 sales in B's account and by Mr. B in sales account. This is credit side, this is debit side. Okay. So effect is given for all different transactions. Now I can do the closing. What is closing? Step 1. Make the total of both the sides. Now if I refer to cash account, what is the total of debit side? 60,000 plus 50,000. So total is coming as 1,10,000. Total is coming as 1,10,000. What is the total of your credit side? It is just 10,000. It is just 10,000. So which side is more? Debit side is more. I'll write down this amount as it is on the opposite side. That is 1,10,000. Now the actual total of credit side is 10,000 and the total which is taken from debit side is 110. So 110 minus 10, what is the balancing figure for cash account 1 lakh. So balancing amount for cash account is coming as 1 lakh. This I can call it as by balance carried down on March 31st, and what is the amount? 1 lakh. Now if I refer to capital account, there is nothing on the debit side, so I'll write down this 60,000 as it is on the opposite side, right? This 60 I'll be writing down as it is. If I make the total of two sides, debit and credit, then what I do understand is credit side total is more, which I am writing down as it is on the debit side, and here I'll write down to balance carried down, that is 60,000, right? On which date I am showing this transaction? On 31st of March. Okay. Now if I close loan account, now there is nothing on the debit side of loan account, and what is there on the credit side of loan account? 50,000. So make the total of this 50,000 here, and I can write down 31st of March. What I can write down? To balance carried down. What is the amount? 50,000. What is the amount? 50,000. See, whatever balancing amount I am calculating, I am just putting the circle over here, right? Sales account if I close, credit side total is 5,000, nothing on the debit side. So on 31st of March, to balance carried down, what is the amount? 5,000. To balance carried down, what is the amount? 5,000. Mr. B's account if I close, nothing on the credit side. So by balance carried down 5,000. So this 5,000 and 5,000 is matching, right? Now purchase account if I close, there is nothing on the credit side. So debit side total is 10,000. Here I'll write down by balance carried down 10,000. I'll match debit and credit. This is happening on 31st of March, right? So on 31st of March, I have calculated the closing balances for different ledger accounts, right? Check it out whether you can do the posting for ledger account. I have told you the trick for doing posting. There is no need of passing any journal entry. Just identify debit and credit part correctly. For a transaction, just identify the two account heads correctly. And in ledger account, when I am doing posting, I have to remember this part, that my left hand side is debit and right hand side is credit, and accordingly I'll show the transaction. So if I am saying cash debit, where I'll do the posting, I'll do the posting for cash on the debit side, and so on, right? So complete the writing part. Deliberately only 3 transactions are taken. Now the student will ask me this question that, madam, why I am doing this posting? What is the use of this, right? As I told you, when I am doing internal audit for a company, I would like to check if there are 5,000 different account heads. Then I would like to check this part, what was the balance for that account head last year and what is the balance today, because I'll come to know what amount I am incurring for a particular account head, right? For example, because of this lockdown situation, if we are saying that employee, there is a employee cut, there is a salary cut overall in the market, it means last time if I have incurred on account of employee cost a particular amount as a company, this time the amount on account of employee cost will go down. And if auditor while doing audit is giving you explanation, asking you the explanation for the same, that why cost is going down or cost is going up, you will able to give the answer, right? So while doing ledger scrutiny, you will come to know about different type of transactions which are happening and what are the reasons behind increase or decrease in a particular account head, right? For example, in auditing standards, there are few standards on frauds and errors, right? Auditor is supposed to check and cross-check and verify the result for a business firm. You as an accountant, you have done your job, you are using a particular package. Now, as I told you, this ledger accounting manually also it is not required. You just have to put or insert the data into the system. What is debit, what is credit. If you are doing it correctly, ledger accounting will be done automatically, and then you will get the balances also. So there is no need of doing this manual calculation. But then as a manager, what is the use of this? That is more important. This is required for the purpose of decision making, right? If a particular expenditure head is drastically going up, or if a particular income head is drastically going down, then you can do some ledger scrutiny and you will get the answers for the same. For example, now as you know, for that paying EMI and loan installment also, the time period has been extended. So if a particular organization is taking the benefit of that, then perhaps in your accounting statement, the loan or whatever EMI you are paying, EMI on account of loan, that particular amount will be outstanding and it will appear in the record. So perhaps if auditor is asking you why it is appearing outstanding in the record, outstanding means it is due but not paid. Why it is due? Because EMI is to be paid, but concession is given by the government that because of this exceptional situation, you may not be in a position to pay that loan, so we are extending the time period, and banks are allowing you to do so. So in the next financial year, perhaps in the year 31st March, if I am talking about this financial year, that is 1st April 20 to 31st of March 2021, you can see some different result. You can see some different picture in your income statement and balance sheet, because you are making A to Z record of different business transactions which are happening, and your transactions and records are cross-checked and verified by the auditor. So you are supposed to give explanation for n number of things. Okay, come back. Now I hope all of you must have done this ledger accounting part. Now I will make one statement which is known by the name of trial balance, and in this trial balance I will show all different ledger accounts. Trial balance, as the name indicates, it is the statement showing balance for different ledger accounts. It is usually divided into 3 columns. What are they? Particulars, debit and credit. Particulars, debit and credit. First you write down the names of different ledger accounts which are made. How many ledger accounts are made by you for this particular problem? Cash, right? So I will write down the name here, cash. What is the second ledger account that is made by you? Capital. So I will write down the name here as capital, right? What is the third ledger account that is made by you? Loan. So I will write down here loan, right? What is the fourth ledger account that is made by you? Purchase. So I will write down here purchase, right? What is the fifth ledger account that is made by you? Mr. B. So I will write down here Mr. B, right? What is the sixth ledger account that is made over here? Sales. So I will write down here sales. Okay. First you write down the names of different ledger accounts which are made. Trial balance you are showing at the end of the period. So you will write down here 31st March 2020. Now for cash there are 2 columns that are appearing in the trial balance. Now what is the balancing amount for cash? 1 lakh. The question arises, should I write down in the debit column or should I write down this amount in the credit column? Now in order to understand this point, please remember cash means what I have. Cash is my asset, right? So cash, when cash will be treated as asset when cash is coming into your business, right? Cash is coming into your business. Now after closing this account, what do you understand? Cash is coming into the business to the extent of 1,10,000 and you are spending cash to the extent of 10,000. So the net effect can be seen in the balancing figure. So cash is appearing as rupees 1 lakh at the end of the year. Now this particular balance on account of cash I'll call it as a debit balance. Why? Because your debit side total is more than your credit side total. So I'll put this balance in the debit column, that is 1 lakh. I'll put this balancing figure in the debit column, that is 1 lakh. Capital. Now refer to the capital account. Capital account, which side total is more? 60,000 total is more, that is why you are writing down 60,000 as it is on the opposite side and tallying the amount. So 60,000 I'll write down in the credit column, right? Loan account, again which column is more? Credit side total is more, that is why balancing figure you are writing down on the opposite side. So loan, here you will write down 50,000. Purchase account, which side total is more? Debit side total is more, so I'll write down in the debit column 10,000. Mr. B account, which side total is more? Debit side total is more, so I'll write down 5,000 here. And sales account, which total is more? Credit side total is more, so I'll write down 5,000 here. Mr. B is over sales here, right? Now if I make the total of debit and credit, debit total is coming as 1,15,000 and credit side total is also coming as 1,15,000. It means my trial balance is matching. This is called as total. So total means my trial balance is matching, my debit and credit side is matching. The total is coming as 1,15,000, right? Your trial balance must match because every debit has a corresponding credit, and if you have shown the effect for both in the books of account, then your trial balance must match, right? So we started with the first part, that is journal entry. Then posting is explained, that is how you are transferring the record from the book of original entry called journal to the next step, that is ledger accounting, and how different balances are calculated for different ledger accounts, and that again you are posting in a trial balance, and then you are checking this part whether your trial balance is correct. Once again, I would like to tell you, nowadays we are using one machine computer for the purpose of recording. So your trial balance will always match, because if you don't give the correct amount on account of credit, or you don't put the correct amount on account of debit, then immediately the message will get reflected that your debit credit is not matching. So this matching of debit credit, you are doing it right from journal entry. So there won't be any question of not telling the trial balance when you are using one computer for the purpose of recording. It is not manual accounting, right? So there won't be any totaling error, there won't be any posting error, there won't be any error while calculating balance for a particular account. Because what is balance for a particular account? It is the difference between debit and credit side. So there won't be any difference as far as balancing amount is concerned. So your trial balance will be mathematically correct. Your trial balance will be mathematically correct if you are using one machine for the purpose of recording, you are using one accounting package for the purpose of recording, right? But as I told you, you must understand, especially non-commerce students, you at least able to identify debit and credit part correctly. If you can do that, rest of the part will be taken care of, right? Trial balance at the end of the year is made, which is a list of different ledger account balances, and you will come to know at a glance all different accounts are in front of you, and you will come to know how your company is progressing, how your business is going, right? Your business is like whether you are earning in the form of income, where you are incurring in the form of expenses, what type of assets you are getting, what type of liabilities you have. So it is the record of all, and then at the end of the time period, you are calculating the balances for different ledger accounts, and trial balance is getting reflected, right? Now, in your foundation course, I am not supposed to teach you income statement, balance sheet, which can be done as a what I can say, it can be done in a regular class as a part of your regular syllabus, right? Foundation course is designed in order to make you understand the basic part in accounting. If I want to understand accounting, there are two things which I have to remember. Point number one, you have to understand logically or conceptually why accounting, and point number two, the mechanical part in that. Non-commerce students, since you are doing this debit and credit part for the first time, you need some practice. Right? So I'll share my PPTs regarding that debit and credit part, right? So that which will help you. And during doubt solving session, this can be explained in detail if you have any doubts. But my suggestion is especially to non-commerce students, in order to be familiar with this journal entry, ledger accounting, trial balance, you should do more problems so that you will be comfortable, right? Because I can understand your problem. The word capital, madam, I am listening to the first time. What is liability? Now I have understood what is liability, or what is asset, that particular part I have understood right now. So it is very difficult for me. Yes, I do agree. But if you solve more problems, then you will be more confident as far as transactions are concerned. If you remember, I have given you the list of different transactions which are done by way of journal entry. Now the same transactions for the same problems, you can do the posting, you can check whether you can make the trial balance, and then you can proceed, right? So this is a flow of accounting right from journal entry to trial balance, right? You apply any method, again I am telling you, you apply modern approach of recording or traditional way, same as real account, personal account, nominal account, it makes no difference. Your debit and credit part should be correct, that is the requirement. So it hardly makes any difference whether you have understood that golden rules of accounting, or you have understood that asset, liability, expenses and revenue part, and accordingly you are recording. Nobody will ask you the logic, but ultimately the effect should be correct. Why the effect should be correct? Because you just imagine, suppose you are taking loan from the bank, then loan is your liability. Loan cannot be treated as your asset. So by mistake you can't show that loan as your asset in the balance sheet, because it is your liability. But from bank's point of view, when loan is given, loan is asset to the bank, because I am recording for the bank. So loan given is bank's asset. Loan given to anybody can be treated as your asset, because the amount that is there in the form of loan indicates your receivables, and any kind of receivable is your asset. So what is your liability, what is your asset, that you must understand. What are your expenses, what are your revenues, that also you must understand. And the most important point is, as far as this mechanical part is concerned, you should able to understand debit and credit properly. Then rest of the part will be easy for you. If you identify debit part correctly, if you identify credit part correctly, then the rest of the part is easy for you. Once again I am telling you, debit means your expenses and assets, and credit means your liabilities and incomes. This particular part, if you understand, then you can solve any problem, right from easy problem to difficult problem. Any problem you can solve, provided you have understood both the parts, right? Debit and credit, right? Now as a practicing chartered accountant, if you ask me why it is required, then as I told you, audit is compulsory for every business firm, whether it is a small business firm, medium scale business firm or large scale business firm, audit is required. So audit is just cross check, verification of record. Verification of record is a subsequent activity. First you have to maintain the record, and then the question of verification will arise. So accounting serves that purpose. Recording is done properly, and then verification can be done, right? Accounting is useful for the end parties who are actually using this information for the purpose of decision making. That is the ultimate use of accounting, right? So I think I have covered the mechanical part as well, right? Because of time constraint, students, please, if you have this fear factor into your mind that just by teaching for 1 hour or 2 hour, right from journal entry to trial balance, how I can solve the problems, please don't worry about this particular part. In the regular class it will get repeated, but it won't get repeated to this extent that faculty is coming into the class and explaining you what is debit and credit. It won't be taught once again, right? So foundation course is, as I told you, in order to bring you at par, in order to, especially non-commerce students should gain this confidence that I will able to do accounting, then it is more than sufficient at this particular stage. Accounting is like mathematics, so if you solve more problems, you will gain more confidence. And please remove that fear factor from your mind that accounting is something which is very difficult. If at the end of foundation course, if you have this feeling that I can't do this subject, then it is of no use when one chartered accountant is in front of you. So my suggestion is, you already have my mail ID, please be in touch. Any kind of difficulty, query, doubt, question mark, you can ask me. And as far as your college is concerned, I am associated with your college, so I'll be there in the campus, and then you can be in contact in order to understand accountancy more. All the best from my side, and this is the end of your foundation course syllabus. So all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.